What's up, folks? It's your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're going to be doing the Raw recap. We started off with Kurt Angle coming out. He cuts a promo about his tag match at WrestleMania. Then he starts talking about the Brock Lesnar-Roman Reigns match, and he says that Brock Lesnar is not in the building. This, of course, brings out Roman Reigns, and he runs down Brock Lesnar and says that Vince McMahon is the real problem. He then goes on to say that he will not be disrespected by Vince McMahon, leaves the ring, goes back to the gorilla position, gets in Vince McMahon's face, and then we cut to a commercial. When we get back from commercial, Renee is sitting at Vince McMahon's office. She tries to get an interview with Roman Reigns. He walks off. Vince McMahon comes out and says that he told Roman Reigns the exact same thing that The Rock would have said, and that's know your role and shut your mouth. He then says that Brock Lesnar will be here next week. He promises that, and that Roman Reigns is temporarily suspended. We then come to our first match, Sasha Banks versus Sonya Deville, with Bayley and Absolution in their respective corners. Alrighty, first match of the night, and we're already starting. Anyways, Sonya Deville had most of the offense in this match. Sasha Banks starts to come back. Mandy Rose attempted to interfere, but Bayley intercepted her. Sasha Banks got the backstabber, which transitioned into the bank statement for the win. After the match, Bayley leaves, and Absolution attacks Sasha Banks. This is actually an okay match. Just like the women's match at Fastlane, it would have been an okay match if it was just those two people. Once we start throwing everybody in that we've seen 10,000 times, it just gets old. Can we just have one-on-one? Leave the rest of Absolution in the back, leave Bayley and whoever in the back, and just have a one-on-one match. That's all. Simple. We then have an episode of Miz TV with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins as the guests. The Miz tries to turn Seth Rollins and Finn Balor against each other. Long story short of all of this, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor jump the Miz. As the Miz is running away, Seth Rollins lays out Finn Balor. And we find out that that's going to be a match later on tonight. We then have The Bar versus the Miztourage. If the Miztourage win, they get a shot at the titles at WrestleMania. What? Before the bell rings, the Miztourage attacks The Bar. Then the Revival come out and attack The Bar. Then the Club come out to join. As Sheamus and Cesaro are running up the ramp, Titus Worldwide and Rhino and Heath Slater come out, chase him back into the ring. There's a big fight. All of this culminating into there being a tag team battle royal later on tonight for the #1 contender. We then have John Cena coming out and says that he has found his road to WrestleMania. Cena then says he will not be contributing to WrestleMania, that he is going to be going as a fan. He then goes out to the crowd, cheers along with them, drinks somebody's beer, gets back in, and then flat out challenges The Undertaker. He then tells The Undertaker to get over his ego and to stop hiding. So I guess we're going to be getting that match with Cena versus Undertaker after all. I just want to know why they had to go through all these long steps if that's where they were going to begin with. We then have Elias coming out, injured, tries to play a little bit on guitar, and then says this is all your fault, and then leaves. We then have a backstage promo with Braun Strowman saying that he's going to be making his own path to WrestleMania, and once again, we're doing it with these stupid words. Once again, you know what I think about him. We then have Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. This match started off real good. There was a lot of back and forth between Rollins and Balor. Seth Rollins missed a curb stomp. Later on, when Finn Balor was trying to do the coup de grace, Seth Rollins was able to suplex him off of the top rope, tried to follow up with the Falcon Arrow, but Finn Balor was able to counter it, rolled him up for the pin. This was actually surprising. Not that I was thinking Finn Balor was going to lose, just the ending kind of caught me by surprise. And from the looks of it, Seth Rollins was surprised at it as well. We then have Asuka coming out to address why she challenged Charlotte Flair. Before the interview started, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James come out, and Alexa Bliss says that Asuka was scared to face Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania. Asuka uses a quote in the style of Ric Flair that to be the woman, you have to beat the woman. And that's why she was challenging Charlotte Flair. Alexa Bliss tries to call out Nia Jax. She doesn't come out. She tries to call her again. Still nothing. And then Mickie James jumps Asuka. Which brings us to our next match, Asuka versus Mickie James. Asuka had most of the offense at the beginning of this match until the fight brought outside, and Asuka inadvertently kicked the ring post, injuring her leg. Mickie James capitalizes and starts working on the bad leg, but Asuka was able to get the Asuka lock on Mickie James for the submission. After a short backstage bit with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, we come to our next match, which is Nia Jax versus Joan King, a jobber. You guessed it, it's a squash match. As Nia Jax is standing in the ring, up on the screen, we have Alexa Bliss and Mickie James talking. I guess they were unaware that there was a camera and a microphone on. They go on to run down Nia Jax, and then is later told that the microphone is on and that everybody knows what's going on. So Mickie James and Alexa Bliss bolt out of there. Nia Jax, pissed off, goes on a rampage, tears up the back. So I'm going to take a guess that Nia Jax will be facing Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania. We then have a Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt promo about the Ultimate Deletion. I'm pretty much done with all of this. We've run this whole feud into the ground. Just about everything that's done with Bray Wyatt is totally uninteresting. So, excuse me, I went to the bathroom during this portion. We then come to our main event. It's a tag team battle royal with the Club, the Miztourage, Titus Worldwide, the Revival, and Heath Slater and Rhino. Before the bell rings, Braun Strowman comes out. He gets into the ring. He starts screaming at the referee to ring the bell. So once the bell rings, all hell breaks loose, as most battle royals happen. Braun Strowman eliminates most of the competitors. Long and the short of this, Braun Strowman won the match, and he will be facing the Bar at WrestleMania. Now this draws a question. Is it going to be just him, or are they going to have him tag teaming with somebody else? This would actually be pretty interesting if it was Braun Strowman versus the Bar, and Braun Strowman becomes tag team champion. We end tonight's Raw with Braun Strowman standing tall in the ring. I wasn't really too crazy about tonight's Raw. It was really talk heavy. There were a couple of segments where in between the commercials, we basically just had a commercial on Raw. I mean, and all the time they wasted with a lot of the talking and the stuff that they were either shelling out or just wasting time about. We probably could have gotten at least a match, maybe two of them in there. The matches were to decent. The Balor and Rollins match was pretty good. The Mickie James Asuka one was decent. The Sonya Deville and Sasha Banks one would have been good if we had kept everybody at ringside out of the ring altogether. Just eliminate the outsiders altogether. What I'll do for tonight's Raw recap, I'll be back tomorrow for the SmackDown review. Leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's Raw, or what you thought of this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.